Hey everybody, Trial and Error 2 here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We last left off, Hurley's back, and Gregson seems to be not on the up and up. I feel like we're probably in the final stretch of this case, but I've also felt that way, many episodes ago as well. But let's continue on and see what we can find out. Sholmes says, I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me? I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end. What do we need to do then? My lord, the defense requests summation examination, further cross-examination, time to think. Alright, time to think's not going to work. I feel like this is bait because of what Van Zyke said. He said that the defense will no doubt do a summation examination. And then Holmes was like, well, it's down to you. We saved it recently because I just loaded the game, so let's try further cross-examination, maybe? Go. Further cross-examination.
Objection!
Objection. The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now.
Objection!
Yeah, we don't want to cross-examine a new one. The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness. Rather, to continue with one of an existing witness. What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. Okay, well, it looks like we chose the right thing. My lord. Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Yes, they interrupted it. Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. So nobody can say anything, then. If Runo asks to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon, the court is obliged to allow it. This is absurd. I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitted protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Oh, shoot. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it. Okay. Single chance to present evidence. If following that the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further. My lord. Yes, my lord. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Yeah, you gonna give me a hint there, Holmesy? Most generous. The problem is it's been about a week since the last time I played, so I forgot exactly what the last statements were. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands. He dramatically fainted on cue. Thud. Mr. Sholmes! All right. To stand so insouciantly, I don't know what that word is, before the court in a state of such high fever. Either the man has extraordinary strength of mind or an extraordinary lack of feeling. I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers. Strike a man when he's down, why don't you? I don't really consider that an insult. Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared? Much as I'm gonna be. I feel like we don't actually prepare for any of these cases. Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. Is this the final trial? I won't let Mr. Sholmes down or Iris. And I know this whole thing is a trial, but I meant this one statement, one piece of evidence. Smack them cheeks, let's go. And I won't waste this final chance that Susato-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial. So this is it. This is the end. Maybe. They say that all the time. Very well then, under the terms I have outlined, you may resume the cross-examination. Let's do it. Cross-examination. The moment of the shooting again. Alright, so we can listen to this again. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance of the shop. Have I pressed all of these statements? When Windibank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door. So they just gave us... Let me go over here. They just gave us the cat flap-o-mat, right? Small flaps and larger doors. This could be wrong. But I feel like the idea is that the peephole wasn't there. But how would we prove that other than this gun? Hold on. Let's check out the rest of the statements first. The accused in a black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. In a black coat. Did she have a black coat on? Do we have the picture of her? I don't think we do. No, we just have the picture of him. Okay, so we have no way of proving if she did or did not have a black coat on, correct? I think so. We'll go back. I saw the blood spatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. Did we press these? I don't remember. I think... Oh, I'll try to go back. His lordship is only going to allow me to present one piece of evidence here. But it's clear what that piece of evidence should be. How in the world did Susie manage to sneak off with this without me noticing? Alright, so yeah, this is the evidence. And she used it in the pawnbrokery? Yes, at least that's what Mr. Sholmes said. I was only gone from the place for about 5 minutes when I went after the Skulkin brothers. What possible reason could Susato-san have had to use Iris's contraption in that time? Yeah. Could it be that what she did with the cat flap-o-mat completely changes one of the key premises in this testimony is based on? Yeah, I feel like you're spoon-feeding me this one. Okay. Which one was it? Here, let me not use the mouse. It's a lot easier to use the keys here. When Windibank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. Alright, so we're going to present the cat flap on this. We have 4 of the little icons, so if we mess this up, we can try something else. But I feel like they're kind of spoon-feeding us this one. Present.
Objection!
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, Counsel? Oh, it's my cat Flap-O-Mat, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out of a room. It can cut through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle of it. That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please, without their owners having to open the main door. I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves. Ag. But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case. Oh, really? Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand. Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all. I beg your pardon, a peephole, you say? 2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Windybank had taken place. That's right. According to the paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes. Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time. Your assistant did what? There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed a crime, for pity's sake? Yes, how could you? What? Counsel, kindly say what you mean. All right, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. Oh, we gotta choose. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through. What? No!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place, but my judicial assistant using this device, or by my judicial assistant rather, your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions? This is a most serious act of vandalism, for which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes. Riddled with... Explain yourself, counsel. The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door. Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back. However, if at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. Grr. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. Ugh. Order, order, order. Is there any credence in this revelation? Is there a Clearwater revival as well?
Objection!
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize. Exactly, this is just some cheap trick designed to discredit me. I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything can cut through a solid wooden door? Oh yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors. That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second. Aha, I had a feeling you'd say that. What? Waggy, cooey, time for dinner. Oh, Aggie. Meow. Well. Young lady, this is the Old Bailey. One does not make cat flaps in the oak paneling at the Old Bailey. I'm not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the people in the storeroom door at Windy Banks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was. No? But it's easy. What? The cat flaps my cat Flapomat creates are all of a fixed size. And the dimensions of the people at Windy Banks are an exact match. Hee hee. Old Silky's lost for words. Excellent work, Iris. Thank you. And now it's my learned student's friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Yeah? Well, yeah, that's true. Then you may have some difficulty in establishing all of the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume the people has dimensions that are of a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the peephole cut? The prosecution demands proof for your answer. Alright, so if he's asking when, and it was formed shortly after we saw or chased the Skulkin brothers, then wouldn't that mean that in the pictures that we were comparing of the counter, it should show that that door has no peephole? Maybe. What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Van Zykes? It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the peephole was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. Ugh. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation. What? Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zykes. Well, counsel? Don't give up now, Runo. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through. Yeah, that's illegal in most places. I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Susato-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. Okay. Very well, the counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Proof that the peephole on the door of Windy Bank's storeroom was created after the event and not before. Well, it has to be a picture, doesn't it? And we only have 2. Okay, so let's look at this picture. Examine. No peephole. Right? Yeah, not seeing one. And then let's look at this picture. Examine. Peephole. So at 1:30 a.m. there's a peephole. But at 1 a.m. no peephole. So peephole happened between 1 and 1:30. So it's this one. So let's go back. We're going to present this one, which was R.
Take that!
What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again? My judicial assistant, Miss Susato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I had never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof. And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel? This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker. But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background. Let me see the print again. I don't believe it. This really is quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a peephole of any description. I love how they zoomed in so violently to that. Ag! Mr. Graydon. You couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done? Because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. Ugh. In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies. Nyurg, erg, grr, arg. Pirouette. I don't know if that's actually a pirouette. My wife will correct me. Order, order, order. I am satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious? Full of fallacies? Fallacious? Fallacious? That's not the only thing we know beyond all reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. Yeah, she did. But more importantly, good lord, there's more Lord Van Zykes? The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. Perjury, you say? But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer. Oh, he's talking about his witness. Yes, that's right. What? I was there at the scene. It's true. And I was shot in the arm. It's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here. Oh, please. No! I don't believe this. Okay, yeah, I figured it wouldn't be the end. But they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he is the culprit. Still, he can't worm his way out of it now. Iris? You know what they say. There's no point in locking the cat's door after the cat has bolted. Iris, I know you're like 9 years old and a super genius, but who says this? Who says this? I've never heard this in my life. And I've been around almost 40 years now. Isn't that right, Runo? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories. Yeah, you're not helping at this point. Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense. Make no sense? What do you mean by such a remark? What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. Ooh, okay. You care to tell us all, Ryunosuke? In other words, there's a fundamental inconsistency in your statements. What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain the alleged inconsistency. Iris was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about. Huh. Third gun is obvious. Anybody can surmise that. The peephole was there after he was, so I don't see how he would know about the peephole. Unless he saw the evidence of the photographic print, plus we were talking about the peephole earlier. Bloodstains on the coat. Hold on, let's think about this. These bloodstains occurred when thrice-fired Mason was stabbed. Then they were, for all intents and purposes, they were invisible. And on Jenny's coat. Oh, which was McGilded's coat. If he had no way of seeing Jenny shoot Mr. Windybank, which she didn't, then how does he know about the bloodstains on the coat? We've got 4 things. So it's either the peephole or the bloodstains on the coat. So if it's not bloodstains on the coat, I think it's the peephole, but I think bloodstains on the coat is the most damning evidence. That would mean that he had information. And Thrice-Fired Mason was his dad, right? So he would have known that McGilded killed his dad if he'd known about this. So yeah, let's present this. How do we do it again? Is it spacebar? Yes, it is. The bloodstains that were present on Miss Lestrade's coat. That's right, the victim's blood spattered all over her when she shot him, which you wouldn't have been able to see because there was no peephole. But how could you possibly have known that? Obviously, because I saw her do it through the peephole in the... Ah, we got it. I think we chose right. The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that is so revealing. You're not making any sense. Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door? See, yeah, I didn't know how he knew there was a peephole there. What? Well, obviously, arg. So, would we have gotten it right if we had chose peephole as well? Has the cat got your tongue, witness? The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the 2 burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windybanks constantly, carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Well, yes, of course. The place is chock full of pawned articles, and my lads have to thoroughly examine them all. So I gave the order to have officers working around the clock in shifts, so we get through it all. And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Oh, are we saying that that Gregson told Graydon? Because they were talking to each other. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the peephole in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
Are you going to be on our side yet? And yet the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door. How on earth is that possible? Oh, is this Sholmesy? No, that's Gregson. Could I have a word, please, Lord Van Zykes? Speak, Inspector. It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. Is there really nothing more? There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony, so if it's... Yeah, you're shady as F. I saw you talking to that dude earlier. We made a big point about that. You must have told him about that peephole there, right? So that means you're colluding with this gentleman because you're in on the stealing of sensitive information and transmitting it via music box and Morse code? Which would also mean that you would have had information about Mr. McGilded, which means you probably set him on fire? So is Gregson the big bad? Or at least a lackey for the big bad? Permission denied. I think Van Zykes is on our side now. I think he sees that his witnesses are lying and he wants to get to the truth too. Oh. It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes. Okay, Van Zykes. See, I knew I liked you, Van Zykes. With your dreamy eyes. Gregson. Oh, of course, sir. Mr. Graydon. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else. Yeah, Gregson. That's easy. Ugh.
Objection!
Do you object or do you agree? Stop there, my learned friend. You realize I trust that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications. Yes, we're going to implicate Scotland Yard, or at least some of their workers. But we're going to do that next episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. It really helps the channel. This is a lot of extra work. I do have a full-time job, 2 kids and a wife, and I try to do this as a hobby. I really enjoy your support, especially the comments. I love replying and interacting with you guys. So please, consider a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.